Greetings, welcome to Facts About Everything. I am your host, James Egan. Today on Horror Month, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to look at a horror movie that's actually good. Okay, you've seen the title of this video, you know what I'm talking about. But here's a question. What is the movie called? Just say the title to yourself, in your head. If you said Interview with a Vampire, you'd be wrong. That's not the title of this movie. It's called Interview with the Vampire. I don't know why everyone makes this mistake. And that is the first fact with Interview with the Vampire. Let's dive in. The film is based on Anne Rice's book, which was written in 1976. The main vampire of the series is called Lestat. She pictured Rutger Hauer playing the role. By the time the film was in production, Hauer was too old for the role, and the part was offered to Jeremy Irons. After he turned it down, Tom Cruise was cast as the vampire Lestat. Rice was outraged, saying the casting was, quote, so bizarre, it's almost impossible to imagine how it's going to work, and it was, quote, the worst crime in the name of casting since the bonfire of the vanities, unquote. Although she refused to watch the film, the producer sent a copy. She was blown away by Cruise's performance and sent him an apology. Lestat is based on Anne Rice's husband, Stan Rice. Tom Cruise prepared for the role by watching nature documentaries of lions eating zebras. Zebra? It took 3.5 hours to apply Tom Cruise's makeup. The novel had a sequel called Queen of the Damned. This was adapted into a film in 2002 with Stuart Townsend playing the role of Lestat. Christian Slater plays Malloy. River Phoenix was cast in the role, but he died before he shot his scenes. Kirsten Dunst was only 12 when she played Claudia. In the novel, Claudia is only 5 years old. Lestat tells Louise that eating rats is a good way to survive if you're, quote, in a ship for a month at sea, unquote. This is a reference to the novel Dracula, where the titular character survives his journey at sea to London by feeding on rodents. I did a video about Dracula. I'll leave a link at the end of this video if you want to check that out. When Kirsten Dunst kisses Brad Pitt in the film, it was the first time she ever kissed a male. Despite the fact that many of her friends were envious, she said the experience was, quote, gross. An animatronic was used for Lestat when he is bleeding on the floor after having his throat cut. Now that you know that's not Tom Cruise, you appreciate this film so much more, and how good special effects were before CGI. 56 people died throughout the film. Brad Pitt's character, Louise, is 200 years old. In the novel, he's 185. Oprah Winfrey stormed out within minutes of watching the film, saying it was too gory. Claudia cries tears of blood. The book popularized this idea and has been incorporated into other vampire stories, including True Blood. At one point, Louise was going to be female. She would have been played by Angelica Houston or Cher. Antonio Banderas plays Armand. He dubbed himself for the Spanish version. Stephen Dorff nearly played Malloy. He went on to star in another vampire-based film, Blade. Kirsten Dunst didn't see the film for years because her parents thought it'd be too scary for her. Christina Ricci nearly played Claudia. Oh yeah, Christina Ricci. Do you remember when she was, like, around? Since Tom Cruise is 5'7", he had to stand on a platform for many scenes to appear more intimidating. That applies to every movie he makes. The tagline was, drink for me and live forever. Tom Cruise had a private set to ensure his design remained a secret until the film was released. Then why'd you put him on the cover? The studio bought the rights for the novel for $150,000. Johnny Depp was offered the role of Lestat. This was the first film to get permission to close sections of the Golden Gate Bridge. Brad Pitt found the makeup and contact lenses so difficult to work with, he desperately tried to quit the film. He was told he'd be sued for millions if he walked away from the project. The film cost $60 million. It made $223 million at the box office, making it the most successful vampire film at the time. It was nominated for 2 Oscars. All the actors portraying vampires had to hang upside down for half an hour to make the blood in their bodies rush to their heads, which caused their veins to bulge. The makeup team then traced over the veins to make them more visible. Daniel Sterling saw the film shortly after its release. The following day, Sterling stabbed his girlfriend 7 times and sucked her blood. Luckily, she survived. When Sterling was brought to court, he said he was influenced by the film to commit murder. He was convicted of attempted first-degree murder. Now let's look at the author of Interview with the Vampire, Anne Rice. Her real name is Howard O'Brien. Her mother named her Howard, believing this would give her an advantage in life. How is naming a girl with a boy's name going to be an advantage? But then again, she did become a millionaire author, so well done. Anne Rice is known for writing The Vampire Chronicles, which revolves around the vampire Lestat. The Vampire Chronicles is made up of Interview with the Vampire, The Vampire Lestat, The Queen of the Damned, Tale of the Body Thief, Memnoch the Devil, The Vampire Armand Merrick, Blood and Gold, Blackwood Farm, Blood Canticle, and Prince Lestat. She married Stan Rice when she was 20 and he was 19. They had a daughter called Michelle and a son called Christopher. Michelle died from leukemia when she was only 6 years old. Her son wrote many best-selling novels including A Density of Souls, The Snow Garden, and The Vines. Anne Rice has sold over 100 million copies of her work. She has written over 30 novels in total. She also wrote erotic novels under several pseudonyms. Rice became a born-again Christian in 1998. Although she abandoned Christianity in 2010, she still claims to be religious. She wrote 3 books about Jesus Christ called the Christ the Lord trilogy. They are made up of Out of Egypt, The Road to Canaan, and The Kingdom of Heaven. Although the second book came out in 2008, the third book has been postponed. So there's no third book after over 10 years. So it's a 2-book trilogy. And finally, Anne Rice is a great author and is directly responsible for popularizing vampire lore during the 1990s. But there's one thing she is not good at: dealing with criticism. When Amazon customers give her books bad reviews, she replies to their comments by accusing them of slander, and they said they were using the website as a, quote, public urinal to publish falsehood and lies. Now, you might be thinking I'm being a bit harsh on her. After all she's doing is criticizing people who are cyberbullying. And that does apply to some of the reviews she attacks. However, sometimes people are just being very fair with their criticism. A lot of them say things like, I loved all of her books, but this one isn't very good. And then she'll give a comprehensive explanation on why they are wrong. Guys, I'm an author, and sometimes someone can say something really snotty to me about my books on Amazon, and every once in a while I will retaliate, which is a bit immature, but my temper gets the better of me. But I just write 1 or 2 lines. Anne Rice, when she retaliates, she writes replies that are 1,200 words long. Look them up if you don't believe me, they're very entertaining. Thanks for watching, don't forget to subscribe. Please let me know if there's any other horror movies or horror authors you want me to do a video about, and I'll upload it as soon as possible. To learn more facts, check out my books on Amazon. They're available on paperback and Kindle. Thanks for watching, see you again.